Hey, anime dad,
Yeah, Bjorvio?
I'm going to ask you a quick question.
What is it?
The ceiling, but it's my turn to ask a question. My question is, if I were to put you in a guitar
Mm-hmm.
and strum an intro for
Mm-hmm.
the Anime Dudes and the Anime Dads podcast, what would it sound like?
Oh my goodness. It would sound like, have you ever heard a peacock scream?
Yeah.
It would not sound like that. That sounds
Oh,
terrible.
thank goodness. I was worried.
No, it'd sound much better. But welcome, as Bjorvio said, to the Peacock Ceiling podcast. We really, Anime Dad Dudes podcast. Have you actually heard of Peacock Scream?
Yes, in
Okay,
person. It's
we've
the
got
stuff
one.
of nightmares, bro.
I know we've got one here, and they just scream and gives me
Do
every
you?
time. Yeah, we got a boy and a girl peacock, and I walk outside, and they go, ah, it gives me a heart attack every 2 seconds. But we're pretty pumped to be here, and welcome newbies, old bees, and middle bees. We are very happy to be talking to each other, and very happy
Yes.
that you're willing to listen. Ear holes are like mouths. You put something in it, and it gives you energy.
I was going to say, and it sustained you. So, I mean, hey, it's pretty much the same thing, right?
Very, very similar. We got an exciting episode today. We're talking about villains. And me and Bjorvio, I know you guys look at us and you think to yourself, these guys are bad boys. You know, they're villains. They're too cool for school. So we're going to be talking about what type of villains, what villain our co-host is, in our opinion. And it's going to be fun. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about some improv. And
Woot.
yeah, yes, sir.
I was saying woot because I'm excited.
Which is part of the improv, actually. That's the word we have to mention twice while we say our questions. So we got two questions each. Bjorvio goes one, then I go one, then Bjorvio, then me. Bjorvio, off you go, my main man, Woots.
Okay, so I said the word woots, which I don't know if you're familiar with what the word actually means. It means we only tan. Okay, so what that means is
That's
when we go outside, we don't burn, we tan, which is
okay.
great, because woot.
Woots.
Um, but there's a problem with that. Okay,
Mm,
when we go outside and we tan, that's our quirk. Not a
okay.
very good quirk,
Mm,
considering we're in the My Hero Academia universe. Okay.
mm-hmm.
And we want to get into the hero course. Okay.
Yep.
How are we going to do that with well, I know actually no, I know how we're going to do that.
Mm,
But my question is, how did you become Bakugo's sidekick?
great question. Great question. Well, because I only tan, his other sidekicks, he's been through four already, and they've ended up burned to a crisp. But me, his flames just make me look more and more beautiful as time goes on. I only tan. And I basically just tie them up anyway. You know him, he likes to hog the glory.
Oh yeah, not only that, he's so fast too, man. Like
He
he
is
he
fast.
stops crimes as they're happening.
He does. You know, we've actually got a hole in our ozone layer over New Zealand.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so we get burnt a lot more. So that'd be a great quirk to have. I'm envious of
We should
what
really get Thick Thunder to go fix that.
he should. Send him an email after this. We'll get it done. All right. Well, what was the word again? Woods.
Woot.
Woot. Sorry. Now, imagine you're an owl with a speech impediment. Uh, what? What? What's your phrase when you, after you eat a mouse, you've got a catchphrase that you do to try to be pretty cool. What's your what's your catchphrase?
Um, Better out than in, I always say. I mean, better in than out.
So he corrects himself every time. I like
Yep.
that. Okay, every single
That's
time.
just part of the catchphrase.
Beautiful. I expected words, but that worked much better. All right, what's your second question for me, sir?
All right. So as you know, um,
I do know.
Woot,
Sorry.
yeah, Woot actually stands for something else, depending on what part of the United States you are in. Okay. So I'm assuming you knew this, obviously.
Yeah. What the?
Um,
Do you think I know?
um, so the first is weaklings only track.
Yep.
Okay, okay. So here's the thing with that. I don't know if you know how it got started or not. It started off when Zenitsu joined the track team, and he was so fast that he outran everybody. And the thing is, they're like, well, I thought that dude was weak. And so then someone started with, oh, well, weaklings only track. Woot. So this became the saying for anyone who, was not the strongest person. And like, and even Saitama joined it. And look how that happened to him. Now he's not on the track
True.
team. So here's the thing. Do you allow capes to be on the track team while they run or no capes?
Oh my goodness, that's a great question. I think, I think, I think no case because it
No
can get
capes?
people can step on them, and then you've got some neck issues and you've got insurance problems.
Oh, oh
Um,
yeah.
Insurance is
Yeah.
a bum, so
Yeah.
I just realized, and the owl with the speech impediment didn't include any anime thing. That's not okay. But that makes more sense. Capes. We don't see many capes in anime anymore, do we?
No, Mirio has one.
All Might?
Um,
No? And
oh
a
no,
few.
he does. Yeah, at least his Silver Age does.
Yeah, a few of them. I like capes.
I like capes,
Yeah,
but you
talking.
make a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. My final question for you. You didn't mention the New Zealand version of Woots,
You're right,
WOT.
I didn't.
And it's a bit hard to hear, but I'm looking forward to talking about it. It is water on tap. And
Oh.
yeah, yeah, it's a move done by Squirtle when Ash gets thirsty. Now, where does Squirtle keep all this water? That's my question to you. Where the heck does it get? It's probably like 20, 30, 40, 50 liters of water inside him to make all these attacks. Does he have a separate gland?
Okay, so for those that are watching this on social media later, I will explain this later. So, as you are well aware,
Mm,
Squirtle has a shell.
hmm
Okay?
hmm
You would think because of all the water that he's using, it's stored in his shell, right?
Yeah.
No, that's not true. It's actually in this little tail right here. And he's not
Ooh.
storing water, he's storing hydrogen. So that when he exhales, he's mixing it with the O2 from the oxygen to create water. So all he has to do is store the hydrogen in here and then combine it with the oxygen and boom, it comes out of his mouth. So therefore, he creates much more water than he normally would. The only downside is his tail is incredibly flammable.
Oh my goodness. We need to clip that someone. Hold on, is that true? Or did you just make that up?
No, but it's pretty convincing, isn't it?
Very convincing. I was like, that makes so much sense. Well done. I was like, well, Pokemon covered all bases there. Very good. Um, all right. Well, we should put it as truth and chuck it on socials. I think that'll be people would have an opinion on that. I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
Let's talk about villains and particularly what type of villain we think our co-host is. Um, it's an exciting topic, and if you've got an opinion on what type of villain you are, or what type of villain your friend is, or what type of villain we are, send them through. We'd love to hear it. I think we just go one, 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 one. I've got about three, and then
Yeah, I got three.
my wife did come up with a villain that she thinks you look like too, even though she doesn't watch a tremendous amount of anime. She still said someone. So
Yep, and I got one for you that my wife said. I will say I apologize in advance.
Oh no. All right. Well, you start with your one, and not the wife's one. We'll finish with the wife's ones. Start with your one. What type of villain do I remind you of, Mr. B?
Okay, so I'm gonna go with one. I'm gonna start with the one that I think you're like the least. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I scoured the animes that I've seen, just trying to find one. And I had a few that I was like, okay, maybe. This one actually jumped out to me, and at first I couldn't figure out why.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna go with Jogo from JJK, the volcano head dude.
Oh my goodness. Is this because I live basically on a volcano?
Essentially, yes, you're welcome. No, it's actually like when he's not super mad,
Mm.
he reminds me a little bit of you. Like he for a cursed spirit, he's actually fairly like in a good mood. Like he's fairly jokey. He's able to get stuff done that he needs to get done. Like he's very motivated to do things. But for the most part, he's not super like in your face about it. He knows kind of when to back off too. But then sometimes he's kind of gung ho and just like, oh, I'm just gonna jump into this thing. Oh, that was a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. I probably shouldn't have jumped in to fight Satoru Gojo.
And he fought. Did he fought? What's that? The villain in
Sukuna.
JJK? Suguna. Yeah, and that was a cool. That was a cool fight.
That
Um,
was a super cool fight. And here's the my final reason for it is because I know you. You would also fight Satoru Gojo.
yeah, and lose spectacularly. So that's a good point. I like that. Good one. Yeah, it was a tough. This was a very tough.
This was one of the hardest ones that we've
Yeah,
done, I think.
it was
I
tough.
just don't see you as villainous.
No, but it's interesting when you look at the villains and the backstory behind them. Um, this one in particular, I again, I had to pick some things about this person's personality. Um, but it is Greed from Full Metal Alchemist.
No way. Like,
Okay, all
okay.
right. And there's some
Are we
aspects.
talking like greed, or are we talking greedling?
Probably Greed. Okay, Greedling is too much of a hero. He's not a villain. But I'm going to speak about why. It's not because of the greediness, obviously. He's got a lot of loyalty to his own.
Hmm.
Is one of my big things. He's got a selfish nature, which is not like you, but he cares for his allies a lot. Um, and as no spoilers, but he does sacrifice himself. Uh, he also is willing to grow and learn as time goes on. You are a very smart man, but you constantly like self improvement and improving yourself. And I like that aspect of you a heck of a lot. Um, and then also, just like greed, you show a good sense of free will. So you've got you question things. You're not reliant on other people a tremendous amount, but you stand alone very strong. So does that make more sense now?
Yeah, that makes total sense. I'm here for it. Kind of a little in shock, but hey, I'm here for it.
Okay, you call me Volcano Head. No, I'm joking.
It only gets downhill from here, buddy.
Oh no. All right, give me a number two.
Greed from Full Metal Alchemist
Oh
Brotherhood.
no. Are you
No,
kidding?
I'm dead serious. I will show you the list. And it's greed, not green lean.
Whoa. That is so
Yes,
funny. Bro, we connected. We are connected.
I'm telling you. I can't. When you said that, I was like, "You've got to be kidding me! You have got to be kidding me!" I didn't even think of that one till like 2 hours ago.
That is so funny. My goodness. Okay. And similar reasons?
Similar reasons, yeah. Like he's very, very loyal. He's good at taking care of his friends. I mean, yeah, he kind of like he said, I'm not that focused on the greed part of it. You don't come across as a greedy person,
You haven't seen
but
me in
you
front of a plate of dumplings, but okay,
That's just a normal human reaction.
true, true.
So I would say that's fair. Um, and Greed is, for the most part, he's got a very jokey nature, but um, I also I think of the scene like when he first uses his ultimate shield against Edward, and he's just like, yeah, no, that's not gonna work. Or like when he's trying to explain himself and he's like to Alphonse and he's like, you know what, maybe it'd just be easier to show you.
Mm-hmm.
I can see you doing that, relying more on like the showiness rather than like the here, let me sit down and give you this 20-minute lecture about it. You know what I mean?
That's true. Um, that's very good. Okay, I like that.
A
I like
lot
that.
better than your last one.
And
In my opinion, Greed is one of the best villains.
he is cool. He is cool. Okay, well, this person you won't know,
Not
but
with
because
that
you haven't
attitude.
watched this particular anime, and his name is Veto. He is the Eye
Hmm.
of the Midnight Sun's beast in Black Clover, and I
I'm scared.
no, no. He's cool. I like him a heck of a lot. For the people who haven't watched Black Clover or haven't met him, Veto is a great character. But he's got a tragic backstory. But he's got a massive love for again his own. He's got a hell of a lot of loyalty, but he protects people and he protects animals. And even though he is absolutely terrifying, I'm not saying you're terrifying. I'm saying
Maybe I am.
even though it's
You haven't
absolutely
seen me with a you haven't seen me with a plate of dumplings in front of me.
that's actually very true. I'll show you what he looks like too. Your beard and hair combo might be similar, but it's not. I didn't actually think of this before now. For those watching.
Ooh, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, pretty similar. Heart in almost the exact same place.
But he's got a really cool voice as well, just like yourself. He loves despair, which is not like you. But like I said, this was hard. Okay, I'm trying to come up with ways. If
I
hairstyle parting
know.
is one way in which we can do it, then hairstyle parting is the way which we do it. Um, what's the final person in that I remind you of as a villain? Just lay it on me.
Shao Tucker. No, I'm totally kidding. Totally
Shout
kidding.
Tucker, shout Tucker. I do have dogs, but that's very funny.
No, so I scoured my list as I mentioned earlier. There was for at first the first one that ever made it to my list was Perfect Cell, but I'm like, no, not a good fit. I did think of who you just held up with Muzan Kibutsuji, but no,
No.
definitely not. If you reminded me of Muzan, I don't think we'd be friends. Um,
He hasn't got much more
no,
time of screen time though, Muzan.
no, he really doesn't, and he's one of the least interesting like big bads to me. There's just I don't know. That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
But because I could do a whole episode on Muzan, I really could. Um, however, there's one from My Hero Academia that you remind me of,
Bro.
and I
Now hold on.
didn't see it right away.
Hold on. This is my
Oh
last
no.
person. My last person from My Hero Academia too.
No, dude, I swear if we have two of these on this list, I don't I don't know. I don't know if you went with who I went with. I don't know.
I probably no, I didn't. You're gonna say twice.
No, I'm not.
You're
Oh
not gonna say
no.
Derby, no?
No, I'm not gonna say Davi.
You're gonna say all for one?
No.
Ah, I said all for one.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Why don't you go first then, and then I'll reveal. Yours is a lot more epic than mine.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we are too similar. All for one. And other than having an incredible voice, just like yourself,
Yep.
all
Yep.
for one. Um, I've played you in chess. I've played you in Pokemon, and you've got a very strategic mind. Um, and All for One sets up things way in advance, just like you do when you blast out a Pokemon that I'm terrified of. Um, he's also very determined, just like yourself. He's got unwavering determination. And then he wants to create a successor, just like you're doing with me. Um, and I will take on Bjorvio 2.0. Um, yeah, yeah. So those are my 3 points with All for One, and that's who you remind me of the most. You've also got a sense of an aura and gravitas that All for One has, where when you walk into the room, I basically hear orchestral music playing and pee myself a little.
I'm fine with that. Um, it would be really fitting if your person was Shigaraki, given
Yeah.
what you just said, but it is not.
Okay.
Sorry, you don't remind me of Shigaraki at all.
Shigaraki. Oh, what about the lizard guy? What's his name?
Ugh, ugh.
No.
No, I like you. It ain't no.
Um, Gigantomachia. No, the guy with the little marbles between his fingers.
That's him, Mr.
Okay.
Compress.
Mr.
Yeah,
Compress. Is that because I'm so good at close-up magic? Watch this.
I swear you actually have his quirk.
I know. I do. I do.
Well, it's for a few reasons. One, bro, almost every time I talk to you, you're
Oh my
just
goodness.
yeah, sorry. So had a little bit of some drainage there, but don't worry, we got it resolved.
I thought
You
you were tearing up there for a second. Every time I talked. I'm sorry.
yeah. If that's all it took, I would have cried a lot more on this podcast. No, but every time I talk to you, you're just a jolly person. You like the way that you talk sometimes actually does remind me a little bit of his speech pattern.
Hmm.
Which is pretty cool.
Hmm.
He also is one of the most loyal members
Hmm.
of the I keep wanting to say Metahuman Liberation Front, but the League of
Yeah,
Villains.
League of Legends. Yeah.
Um, he's one of the most vital members, and especially think of the season 6 scene where everyone's tied up and he's like, "Nope, this is for my friends. I got to
Hmm.
do this. I don't care what it costs me. I got to do this to protect the people that I love." And he's just going all out. And bro, let's be real, you always have a trick up your hand. And
Oh,
it's just something that I'm not prepared for, whether it's an improv, whether it's a comment, whether it's a card in Pokemon that I didn't even know you had. Like, dude, you brought it back. Thank you.
yeah.
You
You
uncompressed it.
compressed it. That's a good one. That's a really good one because Mr. Compress is cool, and
He is cool. He's very underrated.
he ends up flipping going through such torture for his friends in that final scene. So that's a big up. He's also quite respectful in many ways. Like
He
he
is.
doesn't seem like a villain. Um,
No, he
even when he
easily
thinks
could have
about
been a
it.
hero. Just same thing like Twice. Like Twice and Mr. Compressed could have been fantastic heroes because they're in it for their friends,
Hmm.
which goes to show how great of villains My Hero has.
Okay, lovely, bro. We got similar mindsets, keeping the positivity going, even when talking about villains. And like
Yep.
I said, for those listening, we are villainous types of people, but don't be afraid. You know, we're friendly villains. We got good positive qualities as well. Um, Now let's work onto our final person, our wife. What our wife said we are like. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, our co-host is like. Now, my wife, she said, name a few villains so I can get a picture of. She doesn't watch too much anime, but she ended up with someone who I like and I can agree with.
Okay, I know who it is then already.
Go, yep, say it.
Donovan Desmond.
I did actually say Donovan Desmond to her, but she's like, no, he doesn't. He's too crazy, that guy. Um, it's
Not wrong.
James from Pokemon.
Oh, I like that. I don't actually hate that at all. That's cute.
She said that you're positive, you're happy, you're goofy, and that's why she chose James. And I think that's a good option. I think that's a good choice.
That is
James
a
is
good
cool.
option. Does that mean I have to say the motto right quick?
Go for it.
All right. Prepare for trouble and make it double. To protect the world from devastation, to unite all peoples within our nation, to denounce the evils of truth and love, to extend our reach to the stars above. James.
Jesse.
James.
Oh,
Team Rocket, blast off at the speed of light. Surrender now or prepare to fight.
meow. That's right. Very good. That was actually very good. Have you done it before?
Nope.
Very good. Well, you definitely are, James. My wife is right. She did a better choice than me with my all for one. But
I
all
don't
right,
know. I like All for One's voice.
what did your wife say about yours truly?
She did not hesitate.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I told her all three of mine, and she was like, I kind of see him more as Buggy the Clown.
Bucky the Clown. That is actually real good. And you'll find out as you go down One Piece more and more. But Buggy the Clown has a cult following.
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah, and he's cool. He is real cool, and that makes me really happy. And my nose is kind of big and red, so I feel I'm here
Yeah.
for that.
That's the first thing. I think that's the only reason. Either that or she got confused with your compressing and saw like a hand up here and a limb down here, you know?
That's a cool quirk, to be honest.
It is, right?
Well, if you think we're different types of villains, send them through to us, like I said. But if you think you're a splitting image of a villain, or you act like this particular villain, then send it through to us. We'd love to hear from you and hear your story. Um, Before we get into our improv, let's get into our improv. My idea for improv today,
Uh-huh.
because it's all based around villainy and villains, I'd like to hear some heroes in villain roles. Okay, I'm going to give you a
Okay.
scenario and a person, and you talk. You rob a bank. I'm the bank teller in
Okay.
this particular person's voice. We restart it after every person is named. The first person I'd like is Deku. Hi, sir. How can I help you today?
Put him up. This is a robbery. I'm going to be the next greatest robber. Put all the money in the bag. And if I see you put any of those die packs in there, you're going to die.
All right, yeah. Hey, anyone? Has anyone lost a child or a kid? Hello? No. Okay. Well, good. Do you want a lollipop? I'll give you a lollipop.
I said I want all the money in the bag. You better put it in there, or I'm going to Detroit smash your face.
It is hard for him to sound villainous. All right, let's go to Trunks. Hi, Sue. Cool haircut.
You don't give me all your money. I'm going to report you to the androids.
Oh, flip. Oh, flip. All right, that's pretty scary, actually. And you look like someone who knows an android based on the way you dressed. Do you have any weapons, or is this going to just be you versus me, 1v1?
I have one, but I really don't need it against you. Here's the thing. I have two weapons on me right now. My cell phone to call the androids, and this.
Oh my goodness. Hey, take the money, and here's my number at the same time. All right, let's move on to. I know Vegeta would be too compelling. All right, let's go. Let's go Inosuke. Inosuke. Hi, sir. Hey, listen, we aren't allowed any masks in here because it can give people the wrong idea. And we need shirts. No shirts, no service.
If you don't want to get sliced and diced, you better put all the money in the bag, or else I'm gonna slice you up into 3 pieces and then eat you.
Has anyone lost their pet? Just joking. You seem like a nice young man, but sorry, we got other customers.
Give me your arm.
Yeah, here we go. What's up?
Beast breathing. Fourth fang. Slice and dice. Dang it, I missed. I hit the counter. Hang on. This isn't how it's supposed to go. I'm just gonna eat you now.
Very good, very good. All right, let's move on to James. Hi, sir. No gang insignia in the bank, please.
Prepare for trouble and make it. Oh, I'm sorry, it's just me today. We want you. I want you to put all your Pokemon in the bag.
We
If you
want you.
don't, if you don't, things will get a little gassy in here.
All right, listen. Irritable bowel syndrome is a real thing, and a lot of people here suffer from it. So I don't want you disparaging the name. Um, how about you? How about you? I don't even know what Pokemon are, to be honest. This is a bank, sir. What are you talking about?
Oh, you've made me play my hand. Go, Weezing! Weezing, you smokescreen!
So you just threw a dead goldfish on my table. So I think you're hallucinating.
It was super effective.
Final, final person, uh, Anya. Hey, little girl. Hi, can I help you? This little girl looks weird as hell.
Hey, that wasn't very nice. I want you to put all the money in the bag right now, or I'm gonna have my mama play tennis with your forehead.
Oh my goodness. That is actually quite terrifying. Um, very good. All
For
right,
those
good
that
job.
know.
That was scary. I think Anya would be the scariest, to be honest. The way her facial expressions would just make me terrified.
Right? Ugh.
And now your own choice. Go.
All
Hey,
right.
ma'am, sir.
Put the money in the bag.
Oh my goodness. Morgan Freeman?
That is quite a nice compliment, but put the money in the bag right now, or there's going to be trouble to pay.
Oh my, don't be silly. Don't be silly. You two, you two. Oh, as a Major Louis Armstrong. Which one?
That would be put this money in the bag that's been passed down through the Armstrong family for generations.
All Might's
My
actually
sister spent all of my money.
it'd be a really good villain. Isn't that movie out yet? That My Hero Academia movie? Was
Yeah,
All
yeah,
Might.
yeah. I don't. I think it might be. I'm trying to remember if it's out on digital yet, but yeah, I've seen it.
You just shook a bunch of coins in your pocket. I'd like you to calm down, please, sir. I just, I know who it was, but
What? What? That was from my last bank I robbed. How else do you think I became the world's greatest hero? By robbing banks that I then solved myself, and then kept all the change for my side hustle, crocheting quilts.
oh, beautiful, beautiful. All right, All Might, while you're here, take us home. Take us home in the Anime Dudes and Dads podcast, my good man.
My skin is so itchy from having to play one of those dastardly villains. So, better get back on my hero work. Thank you all for joining us today. We had so much fun talking about villains, which honestly is a first for me, but itchy skin, itchy skin! That's okay though. Don't worry. Come back next week when we have another exciting episode. And don't forget, all you cool peoples, heroes, and villains everywhere, go beyond!
Plus
Plus Ultra!
Ultra!